Hi everyone, it's Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the book that I'm writing. So, like I said, I am writing a book, and right now I'm at 40,000 words. So to kind of explain this whole thing properly, I'm just gonna kind of start from the beginning. In junior year of high school, I was one day scrolling through Pinterest and I found this post that gave me like an idea for a novel. Actually, it's a series for a novel, and I just kind of ran with it. Yeah, I just kind of ran with it. At the stage that it is now, it's evolved. It's a lot different from what the post said, but that was still kind of with the inspiration for me writing it. I am not the person who like always wanted to be a writer. To be honest with you, I didn't really think that I could write a novel. Because to me, none of my ideas are original, none of them, you know, were revolutionary, none of them would like change the world or anything. And I think I've come to terms with the fact that nothing is really original anymore. I mean, sure, you may have an original idea, but a lot of the times the ideas you have are just variations or different takes on ideas that are already there. So I've kind of come to terms with that, and I'm really glad that I did, because I've really been enjoying the process of writing. And obviously if I've written 40,000 words, I can write a novel. So I have nicknamed this Project Storm. Yes, the name has something to do with the novel. No, I am not going to tell you what it has to do with the novel. Project Storm is not the name of it. It's just what I'm calling it, but the actual like Project Storm has nothing to do with the novel. The storm part is sort of does, but not really. So like I said, I've been really enjoying this process, so I just thought that I would kind of share it and like kind of, you know, explain to you guys what I'm doing, because I really do, like, I really love my book and I really want to share it with people and like the process, and as much as like for you guys to see it, but also for me to like document my progress and be able to go back and say, this was the time that I did that, or say I have an epiphany, like that was when I had the epiphany for this huge thing in the book. I just think that's really cool, and that's kind of what I want to do. So Project Storm. Project Storm is, as of right now, is a YA fantasy / urban fantasy. I am at the moment writing it with that intent. However, it might change just depending, like it will be fantasy because of the content that I'm dealing with, or urban fantasy, but I'm not sure if it's going to be young adult or new adult or adult, because of the content matter. To be honest with you, I'm writing it the way I want to write it. I'm not saying like, well, I'm gonna do a young adult novel, so I need to stick to these strict guidelines. I'm just writing a book, and if it ends up sticking in, you know, age grouping, content-wise in that, great. If not, great. You know, I'm not, you know, restricting myself to that. But it's about witches and friendship and family and loss and love and acceptance. Those are kind of like the main themes and key points throughout the book. So my main character is a girl. And so her name starts with an M, but the nickname that I give her starts with a G, and I noticed it the other day. I was like, wait a second. It's like, I call her G, my name starts with a G, and I was like, that was completely a coincidence. But yeah, her name starts with an M. Like I said, no, I did not give her a nickname that starts with a G, because my name starts with a G. Had absolutely no relation. No, it was complete coincidence. And while I have the main character as, I'm just gonna call her G, because I call her nickname all the time throughout the book. So even though G is the focus of the novel, like she's the main character, there are a lot of surrounding characters. And so one thing that I have been kind of debating with myself is that when I initially started it, I was planning on it being multiple points of view. However, as I have been writing it, I've only been writing it from G's point of view. I don't know if that's gonna change in the future or like if I'm going to do that. There are scenes and things that I would like to see from other people's points of view, as well as things that don't involve G, that involve other people but get brought into the rest of the storyline, seeing it through their eyes and be able to include that for my readers to understand it better. But I haven't really decided if I'm going to do that just yet. At the moment, it is just one point of view. I'm writing it through completely G's. I might go back later and keep G's, some of G's chapters, and sprinkle in the other points of view, but I'm not 100% sure yet. At the moment, I have 20 plus characters, and there's still more that I need to add. And those are named characters. You know, there's still the ambiguous, non-named characters. Actually, there's more. Oh my goodness, I was just thinking. So in my, I have a document, I have a Scrivener. Scrivener is it's a writing software. It's not a word processor, but it's a writing, like, help you with your novel kind of thing, or like short story or scripter. It has all these different things. And one of the documents that I have in the file is a list of all of my characters and like a really short, for lack of a better word, synopsis of who they are, what they are to the main character, what they do, things like that. I just realized as I was thinking that I missed a couple of them. I have a lot of characters, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. At the moment, it's a good thing, but the annoying thing isn't even that I have a lot of characters. It's that I had a set number of characters when I started the book, and then as I'm writing, all of a sudden, I have 3 new characters that I was like, what? Why? Where the hell did you come from? Why are you in there? Why? Why brain? Why? Just why? And they'll add to the story, but it's just like, now I gotta do that. But anyway, I don't really want to say any more than that, partly because I want to keep most things a secret, and partly because I don't want to say something here and it be interpreted as concrete or anything definitive, and then later I have to backtrack and say, oh no, that's not right, that's not what it is. So I know that basis, Jean being my main character, and it being about witches and love and acceptance and friendship and family and things like that, I know that that's what it's going to be. Like, that is the core of my book. That is not going to change. Other things may change, but that will not change. So, like I said, I had the idea for this book in junior year, and that year I bought a bullet journal, and I kind of went to town going with like starting the ideas, so like plot points, who my main character were gonna be, who my side characters were gonna be, different things that I wanted to include, the worlds, names for people. Like, I had this entire list of possible names, which was extensive. And I actually don't think many of them actually made it to the names of my characters so far. Mind you, so far. Then I also had, so for the witches, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of witches. So I had all the different kinds of witches, how they worked and like stuff like that. So yeah, I pretty much organized it like that in this notebook. And that was like very much the start of how I began to write my novel. But I didn't really think about physically writing it until I learned about NaNoWriMo. So NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month. Basically, if you don't know what it is, it's in November, and in that month, people come from around the world and they set the goal to write 50,000 words. 50,000 words is the length of a novel. Now, most novels are going to be longer than that, but 50,000 is like the standard word count for a novel. So I found that on Abby Ebbins' channel, Kate Kavanaugh's channel, and Haley and Bookland's channel, which I'll link all 3 of those down below. I had seen Haley and Bookland do NaNoWriMo, I think maybe once, and I was really intrigued by it. But like I said, I had never thought of myself as somebody who wanted to write a book or could write a book. But when I saw this, it really like inspired me, and because I had the idea and everything, I was like, I'm gonna participate in NaNoWriMo. So I set out and I said I'm gonna do NaNoWriMo 2019. Around September 2019, I started putting, like, really getting in gear. I nailed down my character names, I nailed down who they were, what their goals were, like all these different things. I made mood boards, like collages of what to me represents the characters and their loves and their hobbies and who they are as people, which was really fun, by the way. And I delved deeper into the story and the characters and the plot and what was going to happen and what was like the conflict and things like that. And it was mind-blowing. Like, I did it so fast and I outlined everything. Doing all of that pretty much took me right up till the beginning of NaNoWriMo. And during NaNoWriMo, I ended up writing 36,017 words. So anyway, I ended up adding about 4,000 words between the end of November and about March. You know, here and there adding a few words, things like that, changing some things. So right now my word count is 40,062 words. Now, the reason that I didn't end up getting my 50,000, the biggest reason I didn't finish was because even though I had outlined all of the different things that were going to happen in the novel in the sense of general ideas of what was going to happen in different stages of the novel, I had only really in-depth outlined like everything that was going to happen in chapter 1 and chapter 2, chapter 3. I only did that up to about chapter 10, and I had reached, I think it was chapter 9 or 10. I think it was chapter 9. And I just, even though I knew it was what I needed to write, like it wasn't writer's block, or no, it wasn't, I knew what I needed to write. I just didn't know how to write it or how to start to write it. So I kind of stopped and I didn't finish my detailed outline. That being said, and the biggest reason that I'm doing this specific video, what you will be seeing this July 1st. So NaNoWriMo happens 3 times a year. It happens in November, it happens in April, and it happens in July. In July and April, they call it Camp NaNoWriMo. And you still have the same goal of writing 50,000 words, but it's just not in November. So July is Camp NaNoWriMo. So in making this video, I thought it'd be a good intro to me saying that I'm going to participate in the July Camp NaNoWriMo and try and finish my novel. Now, I have, for the moment, I've estimated that my novel is probably going to be around 100 to 120,000 words. Now, with the 50,000 words, I'll have 90,000 words. I don't know if that's gonna finish my novel, but my goal is still to do 50,000 words in the month of July. So even though I don't think it's gonna write the whole novel, like write the rest of it, I still am aiming for 50,000, and if I get higher than that, great. If I can end up finishing it, great. If not, then I don't think it would be too many. And now I know, you know, between 90,000 to 120,000, it's like 30,000 words, which is a lot of words, but that's a lot more manageable. And if I have a clear direction of where I'm going, then I can just, you know, knock it out of the park. Like I said before, I would like to document this process, share it with other people, but also document it so that I know, like, the things. So for the month of July, my weekly reading vlogs, which I'm planning on doing, are all going to be writing/reading vlogs. So the large portion of it will probably be writing because that will probably take up most of my time. Now granted, I only need to write, I think it's around 1,600 words a day in order to meet the goal of 50,000 by the end of the month. But you know, sometimes you have slow days, sometimes you have days that are phenomenal. It's, you know, kind of ups and downs, but that is my goal. So I'm really hoping that you will follow along my progress. Today is July 1st, so it's the first day of Camp NaNoWriMo. Hopefully future me is writing away, planned everything, you know, I'm really ready to go, and I am actually writing my novel and continuing to write my novel and actually doing it. I'm hoping to make this series until I complete my novel, and then if I have, and spoiler alert, I do have other ideas for other novels, so this is not going to be my one and only hit, you know, one that I'm writing, but it's just the one that I'm focusing on right now. And I am hoping that I can do this whole series kind of on my channel about writing my book and my books, hopefully, fingers crossed. So one thing that I would love from you guys is in the comments below, I would love to at some point do a Q&A session of like questions that you have for the book or questions that you have for me about writing or things like that. So if you guys could leave questions down below here and as well as in my reading/writing vlogs, it would help me a lot to, you know, collect the questions so that I can do a Q&A, because I really do want to share more with you, but I just don't know what you want to know. I'm not sure how much I'm willing to, you know, divulge just yet, but if you do have questions, please leave them down below. I will put them in a Word document and hopefully I will do a Q&A sometime soon. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Links to all the channels will be down below. Links again to Black Lives Matter movement, petitions, and resources will be all as well linked down below as usual. And I would, even if you don't have a question, I'd love to talk to you in the comments below. Have you ever done a novel? Have you ever thought of writing a novel? Did you, like me, you know, kind of think you couldn't do it? And is that still stopping you? But other than that, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!